it is a good time to be a Pokemon Go player. Right now, all of Long Beach is lured. Literally every Pokestop I can see has a lure on it, and that's a result of 6-hour lures being unlocked through the Global Catch Challenge. We have double XP right now, so everything's worth, well, double XP. And there's a raid battle here, which I'm about to do because we finally got an update, the update that we've been waiting for on EX raids and improvements to normal raids. So I'm going to jump in here at this Sandslash raid at a Starbucks, and while I wait for this timer to count down, let's jump over here to the Pokemon Go website and just read through the update on raid battles. Trainers, we greatly appreciate all the feedback you've shared with us about the raid battle feature over the past few months. We've been carefully reviewing your feedback and we'll be making a few changes to the feature in response. These improvements will not require you to update your app, but they will impact your gameplay. Below are a few notes detailing the changes, as well as a few comments from our development team, and that's my favorite part of this whole thing. So, EX raid battle changes. EX battles will take place most commonly at gyms found in parks and sponsored locations, which is why I'm here at this Starbucks doing this raid. Trainers with a high-level gym badge are more likely to be invited to EX raid battles taking place at that gym. Trainers who have completed a larger number of raid battles are more likely to be invited to EX raid battles. EX raid battle start times now take into account popular raid battle times at that gym. Trainers invited to EX raid battles will receive an in-game notification if the EX raid battle is canceled, and trainers will receive Stardust and Premium raid passes when an EX raid battle is canceled. And then this is my favorite part, the developer comments. So what we see with the developer comments is Niantic essentially filling in a huge gap that they've had in their communication since the beginning of the game. This is it's something that I feel like has sort of fallen to us, the YouTubers, the community, to kind of just try to explain why certain changes were being made to the game. But with these developer comments about EX battles and raid battles, Niantic's actually explaining the reasoning behind their changes. So for one, we know now that EX battles are mostly going to take place at sponsored gyms and at parks. And the reasoning behind that, obviously, is because they want to make sure these battles are taking place at gyms that are accessible. I remember early on in the EX raid test, field test, there was a raid taking place at a gym that was like in the middle of a highway or in a huge roundabout that was really inaccessible to people on foot. And obviously, by putting these raids at sponsored locations or at parks, they know that they're going to be much more accessible to players, you know, without having to like drive and park somewhere illegally. So big improvement there. And it also gives us, an indication of like what we should be focusing on. Number 2, the higher your gym badge level for a gym, the more likely you are to be invited to a raid at that gym. So currently I have no gold gym badges, but if I wanted to focus on leveling up some gyms, the obvious ones to focus on would be sponsored locations or gyms at parks. Now, when we say parks, I'm assuming that they're using OpenStreetMap or Google Maps, whatever database they're actually using for the game. And they're talking about gyms that are in parks that can be nests. So any park where you have a nest, the gyms inside those parks are pretty likely candidates to be possible locations for EX raids. And am I actually going to beat this Sandslash? I didn't take it super seriously. I don't think any of my Suicune have double water type moves. Uh-oh. Now, as for raid start times, the raids are actually going to start based on the times that people normally raid at a certain gym. So throughout the field test, we've seen mostly raids starting like early afternoon on Fridays, days when people are generally working. But now you're going to see the raids actually lining up with people's regular schedules. So I know around here there's a lot of people who go out on their lunch break and raid, so I see a lot of people out raiding around noon. If most people raid at a certain gym, say this Starbucks gym, at noon on Fridays, then the invite will go out for noon on Fridays. If most people raid at this gym after work, 6 or 7 p.m., then the invites will go out for 6 or 7 p.m. And I totally just failed this Sandslash raid because I wanted to use all Suicunes because I didn't think there was any other time when I would get the chance to use Suicune. So let me just start over here. Oh, also, there's a new improvement. You get 500 Stardust for completing a raid, or for attempting a raid. Only once per raid, but you get that 500 Stardust regardless of whether you finish or fail. So the final bit is that when EX raids are canceled, you're going to get a notification, and you're actually going to get some Stardust and premium raid passes as sort of like a makeup gift. So I don't know how often EX raids are going to be canceled. Probably not too often, and I don't know what the reasoning would be for a raid being canceled unless Niantic finds out like some weird event or something's going on in an area and they shouldn't have people there, right? It doesn't seem too likely, but just know that you will get some sort of consolation prizes if that is the case. Now with all that said, let me just finish off this Sandslash, and then we can move on to the changes to regular raid battles. God, this is going so much faster than when I tried to use Suicune, none of which had water-type quick moves. I mean, at least it gave me time to talk, right? To explain everything. But again, let me just say, Niantic, developer comments, massive improvement. One of the things that I felt has been missing from their communication this entire time. It's something you see with a lot of popular games. Supercell does this, Riot does this with League of Legends. It's so helpful for players to understand why changes are being made instead of having to guess, because a lot of times when we have to guess, we just automatically go to like the worst reasons. For example, greed. A lot of times when Niantic makes changes, I see greed being suggested as the reason behind it more than anything else. So developer comments, huge improvement, and I hope it continues. Anyone know perfect IVs for Sandslash? Golden Raspberry, 3 Super Potions, 4 Revives. I cut that early, but what was that, like 14, 20? How much XP normally? I have a Lucky Egg on, it's double XP. That was 4 times normal experience right there. First try. First try Wednesday. I was gonna say first try Friday, but it's Wednesday. My dudes. HP. Cool. I'll check that one later. Lures up. There is, I believe this is a Suicune. Suicune at a Sprint store. Sponsored gym. I'm gonna head over there, see if any of the lunch break raiders are out early. Now, while I'm on my way over here, we can talk about the changes to regular raid battles. Raid battle changes. Trainers will now receive golden raspberries for completing raid battles. That's a guarantee now. The numbers of potions and revives awarded to trainers for completing a raid battle will decrease slightly, but the quality of the potions will increase, meaning you'll probably see more hyper and max potions, although I did just get super, but that was a tier 2 raid. So higher tier raids, you should see better quality potions. The likelihood of receiving fast and charged technical machines, or TMs, for completing a tier 3 or higher raid battle has increased. So if you're soloing a lot of tier 3 raids, you should be getting a lot more TMs. Obviously tier 4 and 5, more TMs as well. Trainers will now receive Stardust for participating in a raid battle, whether they win or lose, like you just saw when I did actually lose. You're going to get 500 Stardust per raid, but only once per raid. So the second time I did the raid, no Stardust reward. And Magikarp will make a triumphant return to tier 1 raid battles. Triumphant. He's back. Looks like I might be too early for lunch breaks, too late for the initial rush here. 2 people in the lobby, and like 10 minutes left on the raid timer, so maybe I can wait a little bit. And there goes that raid. That's not going down, but since it is a sponsored gym, I might as well level up my gym badge while I'm here. Take it down real quick, take over, try to hold it for as long as I can, and then eat. Last battle, hopefully, someone might be remote golden berry camping this Blissey, because it did go back up to max the last time I was almost done with it. So hopefully this is the last one. Please go to 0. Please, no more golden berries. Yes. And since I am actually trying to level this up, yeah, I'm gonna put my Blissey in there. Take advantage, grab my team bonus, feed you one, get you full. Time to feed myself. Okay, one more thing before I go eat. Wild Crobat? You know, I've seen some pretty kind of like exciting screenshots of rare Pokemon that people are finding, so let me know if you guys are finding rarer Pokemon since the double XP and the 6-hour lures went live, or even more Pokemon. I haven't noticed new spawn points really, but it's honestly, it's hard to tell with all these lures activated all the time. Alright, here's another gym that I have a silver badge in, and it's a park. Alright, I'm convinced that we are seeing rarer and increased spawns. There were a ton of Pokemon on my walk home. I caught a Flareon on the way out of the restaurant. Lots of evolved Pokemon on the way home. Graveler, Magcargo. There's a Pupitar across the street right now. So I don't know, that's what it seems like for me. Let me know in the comments or on Twitter if you're seeing more evolved and more rare Pokemon out in the wild. It could also just be a result of there being so many more Pokemon spawning that you are, obviously, the more Pokemon you see, the more chances you have to see a rare Pokemon, but still, it seems like a lot. Now, the last thing I want to go over before ending this video is the update. Pokemon Go was updated yesterday to version 0.83.1 for Android, 1.53.2 for iOS, again, in-game, exact same version number. Trainers, Pokemon Go is in the process of being updated to version, well, what I just said. Details from our development team. Added support and made optimizations for the iPhone X screen resolution. I wish that applied to me, honestly. Removed support for devices running iOS 8. So if you're on iOS 8, time to upgrade if you want to keep playing Pokemon Go. Resolved a bug causing error banners to remain visible until the app is restarted. I've never personally experienced that bug. Resolved a bug that prevented trainers from powering up Pokemon to their max CP. Finally, it's actually confirmed this time. You can now finally, a year and a half later, you can finally power up your Pokemon to their actual max level, level 40, which means you have to now get to level 39 before you can power up your Pokemon to their maximum level. And that's been confirmed. Prodigy's Nation's done it, Reversal's maxed out his Pokemon. It actually works this time. Improved load times when you open the app. That's good. And various bug fixes and performance updates. Now, not a whole lot there, but again, the Silph Road did do an APK mine, and I'm, well, indifferent to report that not a whole lot was found hiding under the surface either in this update. So let me just quickly run you through the Silph Road's APK mine of this latest update. The game's been updated to Unity 2017, which is an updated version of the engine that the game is built on. New asset loading optimizations, so just a lot of things are getting more efficient in the game. Boot up load time optimizations, like they said in the official announcement, the game is going to start up faster. Quality of life fixes, there's a slight accidental button press fix. New buddy Pokemon test tool, which Dromps thinks is an internal tool for testing Gen 3 Pokemon as buddies. That's something we probably won't see on the player side of the game. That's just for Niantic's own internal testing. And then there's a couple interesting curiosities, as Dromps puts it. New import Google S2 geometry library. S2 cells are Google's way of like mapping the world, and S2 cells have a lot to do with possibly biomes, but definitely with the way that Pokemon's locations are tagged when you catch them. So that's all back-end stuff that's not really that important to what we're doing here as players. Dromps, as a software guy, is interested. So we'll see how that develops and if it actually ends up being anything interesting. And finally, caching for possibly battle parties, something that we saw hints of as far back as Gen 2's introduction in February. Battle teams, which is the ability to choose a set team and maybe like automatically go to that team or choose from different teams that you've already set up. So maybe like 6 to 8 months after we first saw indications of that being a thing. It might be coming soon. And then finally, the latest update, the latest numbers on the Global Catch Challenge is that we are now just about 250 million catches short of reaching Silver Tier. So within the next few hours, probably by the end of the day today, we should reach Silver Tier, which is going to unlock double Stardust and even more Pokemon spawning globally. And at this point, we're like right on track to hit Gold Tier, 3 billion catches, and unlock Farfetch'd at the very end of the event, which, of course, they calculated and figured it out. I guarantee Niantic did the math and said, well, we can probably get people to catch this many Pokemon. Let's make that the number. So we should get Farfetch'd on like the very last day of the event, at which point Farfetch'd will be available worldwide for 48 hours, 2 days, and then Kangaskhan, obviously, in Asia during that time. So that's it for today. I'm gonna finish this juice, edit this video, upload, and tomorrow's Thanksgiving here in the US. Happy Thanksgiving to anyone celebrating. Who knows if I'll upload? I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do a live stream. You guys want to see a live stream? I have some mail to open. It's double XP. I could definitely do some evolutions. So, yeah, maybe a live stream. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a live stream. See you guys tomorrow, probably.